Well, hello, welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are here in Long Island today, and we're here with Andrew Rimby. How are you, Andrew?
I'm really good, Matt. Yeah, thanks for inviting me to I Love Gay today.
Oh, absolutely. But I love what you do. I've been following and watching some of the with your podcasts and so forth online. And it's called Ivory Tower Boiler Room. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that. Where'd you come up with this name?
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's been 2.5 years since I created the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, and
Yeah.
it all began during those distressing times of the pandemic that I think a lot of us are trying to muddle our way through, reflecting back to 2.5 years ago. And it seems like a fog, but what was exciting is during that distressing time, there was also the other side, which is I, like others, were trying to just figure out how to get conversations because there was no more university workplace situations. There weren't those spontaneous conversations. So I found podcasting as a platform just to write to, do emails. I started just following comedy podcasts, entertainment podcasts. Um, but what I really wasn't finding were literary podcasts.
Yeah.
And that's where I decided, wait, I keep hearing these ads for Anchor, which is a podcast platform. And I was like, wait, let me see. How hard is it to edit podcasts? And I realized I could easily just put out audio without doing all the technicalities that now are in the show, but we can get there. I mean, now I have sponsors and it's gone on a journey. But in the early days, it was just really the raw audio.
Yeah.
And I wanted to interview first academics and just have conversations about, okay, how are you sharing your work? And a lot of them were LGBTQ academics during the pandemic. How are you connecting to your community? What do you say? What are you teaching students? What are you reading? What are you listening to? So that was the origin. And it was really, I now am going to have my PhD by the summer. Um, but then I was in the midst of the dissertation, a PhD student. So the ivory tower is always looming in my mind.
Yeah.
But it felt that the boiler room was an apt metaphor since that's where everything, all the cogs and the machinery is. So I kind of put these two opposing forces together. So that's the ivory tower boiler room origin
Wow.
story.
I love that. Well, I know that I've seen, and you kind of go across the board in terms of it's literary. Sometimes they're more artistic in nature, but you've really gotten some amazing interviews put together that you kind of. And for me, what I would say is you do a great job of bringing their voices to the forefront or bringing their voices to light.
Well, that is means a lot. So thanks, Matt. That's been the mission. I actually have a theater background, which definitely speaks to podcasting and hosting. I'm sure you also have a rhetorical experience, but it's exciting to have grown that network. So you're right. Now interviews can range in episodes from someone who's on Playboy in a Playboy spread who's a female journalist, my friend Taylor Ferber, who's also a podcaster. She has a Cancel Me Baby show, so she does all pop culture. And
Yeah.
then it also can be having New York Times bestselling authors, which we have. We have Broadway performers, Broadway scholars, and then once in a while I'll still have an academic on from more of that ivory tower
Yeah.
experience. But those are really enjoyable to me because I get to have them break down their language, and
Yeah.
I always find each conversation presents a different dissection of knowledge, which is what I always love about the show. Is it's really all of my passions, all my passion projects, and it's a type of classroom that I've created that's free to the public. I
Yeah.
mean, we have a Patreon and we have other ways of getting funding through sponsorships, but ultimately the goal is still there, which is these are open conversations that you're not going to get behind a paywall.
Yeah. No, I love that. Well, I know that in general, especially you've tied in with some of the folks that we've known for many years too with the Gay and Lesbian review, but they've they've kind of like not only have you tied in with it seems like some of the folks that they interview and so forth, but it seems like some of you're bringing some of their voices to light.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning the gay and lesbian review. I shout out to Steven and Richard.
Yeah.
So the Gay and Lesbian Review, actually, like a lot of what you now see on the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, I believe in manifesting of sorts. I don't want to seem, well, I believe in the power of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm lighting my incense, but not all the time. But I think it is really true when you follow your passion, especially, here I am talking about with you, and you have a large LGBTQ audience. So I think just being so openly gay as an academic, I was in search of a community,
Yeah.
especially in the university. The university is already competitive with niche subjects. So now when you're trying to find fellow LGBTQ scholars, it
Yeah.
becomes even nicher at your own university. So it's been so exciting to connect with the Gay and Lesbian Review because, like you said, they have film
Yeah.
journalists or reviews, book reviews. They have novelists like Andrew Holleran, who wrote Dancer from the Dance, always contributes, manifesting that. So anyone who knows Andrew Holleran, I want to get him on. But Ignacio Darnad is a film producer who works on what he calls gay codes in paintings, very prominent paintings. I'm thinking of Paul Cadmus as a painter,
Yeah.
and he came on the show. So that's on our podcast. That was a really exciting episode where we like went through all these different artworks, and I asked him, "Okay, so what's the gay code that you're seeing?" But yeah, soon, maybe by the time this is out, but soon in the winter, we're having Vernon Rosario on, who
Okay.
actually did a lot of the groundbreaking work about um, depathologizing homosexuality on the DSM
Yeah.
with psychiatry. So yeah, the Gay and Lesbian Review, they're now a sponsor, and
Yeah.
all of that began just because I subscribed to the Gay and Lesbian Review and got it in its print form, and that was probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, like other things, I've had these authors around me or these organizations, but now actually getting to collaborate with them
Mm.
has truly felt like a dream. So I'm
Yeah.
honored
I
to
think it's
be
great
around
they
these people.
I think it's great they have you because I know that over discussions we've had, they've really wanted to kind of be more, I don't know say relevant, but just out there and visible in some of the newer media. And I'm not so sure we're going to be seeing them on TikTok right away, but with your help, since I noticed you're on TikTok, they're probably not that far away.
Well, yes. So the Ivory Tower Boiler Room has a TikTok, and
Yeah.
I still am the voice behind our social media. We do have interns, which is wonderful. Um, Kim is our film and audio editor. Mary is a chief contributor. She runs our true crime episodes. So
Okay.
if you're a true crime fan, she
Yeah.
does the true crime episodes. But um, yeah, TikTok has actually been really exciting because being a podcaster, having these teasers out there, TikTok is
Yeah.
a great format for especially my generation. I'm 30, but I would say the Gen Zers are actually where TikTok is at. And
Yeah.
that's how I've grown a younger fan base of listeners. And that's actually why the Gay and Lesbian Review, it's like you read their mind, Matt. Why they partnered with the Ivory Tower Boiler Room. They want younger academics and younger LGBT creatives
Yeah.
to know about them. So this is a great place for podcasting,
Indeed.
for them to have a space.
How did the one go? Was it today or yesterday? I was reading it. There's all this queer history that queer people don't know about. I love topics like that.
Oh, that's Lev AC Rosen. Yes. He wrote Lavender House, and he takes his novel's title. It's a noir novel. So it begins as a Agatha Christie type murder mystery where all the characters um are in a house, in the Lavender House. And the twist, though, is they're all queer. And the head of this soap empire, she's died mysteriously. So then this gay detective comes in to try to figure out what's happened. But he's like kicked out of the San Francisco Police Department in a raid of a gay bar. And Lavender comes from the Lavender Scare, the title. So, yeah, he as he says, he unraces queer history, which I'm a fan of.
everything's starting to come together now. Now I realize why not only am I seeing you become more and more successful online, but why I've like enjoyed watching your things. It's your passion. You love this stuff.
Oh, thank you. Well, and I can see how much you're smiling. You have a really bright soul. So,
Well, thank you.
from one passionate person to another. Yes, right. I think you have to, it's risky. Like whenever I have these conversations, I have so many entrepreneurial podcaster friends. Like
Yeah.
I actually have an official business now certificate for the Ivory Tower Boiler Room, which doesn't happen. I think I read 75% of podcasts don't make it past 2 years, which,
Yeah.
you know, they're still out there. So please listen to those podcasts. But right, try to create a business, an entrepreneurial business from scratch.
Yeah.
It's laying that groundwork and knowing it's not going to take off right away. And that was always something where I'm glad it's this um humanities um side project I do, and that everyone who works with us in the Ivory Tower Boiler Room
Yeah.
um, has other humanities businesses or marketing businesses they work in. So it's a great complement to our lives. And I think being an academic, this is just so fruitful because
Mm.
I continue to use po- um, all of the research I do for the podcast in my own academic writing when I'm writing about Whitman and queer theory. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
there's so many authors I've interviewed who I then put into my research.
Well, speaking of Whitman too, and we won't drive everybody crazy because you and I could probably go on and on. Um, but I love it that you're the curator of the Whitman Tained Library for the Waltman Whitman Initiative. I read that, so I wouldn't make any mistakes. But I love that. I mean, that just seems like so in line with what you love.
Yeah, I love being the curator of the Walt Whitman Initiative's Tane Poetry Library, which is um, right in the South Street Seaport in Manhattan.
Oh
It
wow.
is in the loft of the South Street Seaport's Fulton Stall Market, which is this great grassroots market with all of these vendors.
Yeah.
And I actually had a grassroots experience there too, where I was tasked with having this whole over 400 book collection. Shout out though to, I need to say, Marcella and Gila. I'll share this episode with them. They're the interns who helped me
Yeah.
um, with the digital collection. But if you go to the Walt Whitman Initiative's website, you can actually see the full digital collection. And
Yeah. Yeah.
what's been great, it's free, it's open to the public. Um, and we want you to read the books. It's not like you need to put gloves on. It is fully accessible, but there's a lot of queer Whitman books there of research. And I had to learn how to curate a collection. That was my task.
Yeah.
I now can say that I've learned those skills, and I get to consult with those who are interested in um, why Whitman is just such a figure of um, understanding homoerotic poetics, especially. I mean, that's my passion, but bringing America's dilemmas to the forefront.
Mm.
And he gets himself um, wrapped up in controversies too. And he's not scot free from all of that. But I always say, like so many of us, um, we all have our different sides and personas, and we're not always 100% free from controversy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well put. Well, I love all this. In fact, I'm going to be in Manhattan this weekend, so maybe I'm on my way to Brooklyn. Maybe I'll see if I can stop over there because I know exactly where Southport is, and I love that area.
Please do. Well, and everyone always reach out to me because
Yeah.
I do come in and host open reading hours at
Oh,
least once a month. So
yeah. Good to know.
usually they're on Saturdays.
Good
Mhm.
to know. But no, I do look forward to hopefully we'll be able to continue these conversations in the real world someday. So I look forward to connecting that way. And but no, mostly I'm just really glad you were able to take a few moments of your time and share a bit of your story with our audience here.
Of course. Well, thanks to all your listeners. Thanks to you, Matt. And I just love that you've created such this dynamic
Yeah.
LGBTQ uh, force of artistry. It truly is great to have spaces like this
Well,
exist.
thank you so much. So look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again.
Thanks, Matt. Bye bye, everyone.